Hello, when you least expect us, we told you what we do. We are going to revisit everything as it died down. I mean, we are not followers. We do what we do the way we do it. So we are here now. We have reached that part then people that have been crying about where we had to either react or say something about what was said on Mngomezulu's funeral and what happened and what has been happening building up to Mngomezulu's funeral. So greetings to all of you and thank you for joining us, those who are catching us live. Yes, I will remind you again, please do like the video, subscribe. We are not far from 37,000. Please subscribe, and yeah, there's still membership, and yes, there are people who come and tell us we shouldn't remind them because it feels like we're forcing them. But I say to them, we are talking to Mzansi family. If you are a bypasser, it's okay. No one is forced to be here. There's a lot of options right now. I think you can choose as much as you want. You can pick any channel that is not going to force you. This is how we roll here. We remind people because that's night. Sometimes people just log in for the love of the channel and they go to sleep. So we remind people, please like the video, share the video, do whatever that is good for this channel. And we appreciate you for that. We appreciate our subscribers. We have too much connection with them. So it's not about one person who's going to tell us, you guys are irritating when you say, oh, it sounds like we are forcing you. It's okay. If you feel like that, then check out. We are not forcing people to be here. Zanzi reality people, they know themselves. We almost know them by their names, almost all of them. As much as, even if we don't have that much encountered them, we remember the name because most of the time they are here. More so when we are live, and then there's a morning gang. So yes. Please, we will keep on interrupting this video as much as we can so that we push for the likes and we push for everything that needs to be done for this channel. So we're not, I don't know, scared to chase people away. Those ones who are not happy to be here, I don't understand the love and hate situation where you watch a channel that you don't feel, you know.
You don't like.
Why?
Why are you torturing yourself like that?
Why are you torturing yourself? We have our own people here. They understand. So please like the video, share the video, subscribe, join the membership if you can. Thank you very much. We appreciate that part. Yes. So now, building up to Mngomezulu's funeral, there was already situations that were happening on the social media. But we decided not to talk about them because we know they happen most of the time when there's an incident about the case. So, not to give it the momentum that it requires, we decided to reserve our conversation towards that and focus at other things that were at hand. And now this is the right time. And check, even the heading is not about Umsolo, it's about the family's Umsolo, because that we need to sink it, we need to let it sink to most people that it is not her Umsolo that is famous. It is her sister. So that's why we say her sister's name here, because that is why we are here. It's part of the, almost one can say, if this was a movie, is part of the main characters. And then we have supporting characters. And supporting characters should remain as that, as supporting characters. They mustn't seem to assume the position of the main character, right? So we know they could be the cause of the action that happened, but this is not about them. This is where we are. We're not going to follow that trend of saying, hey, so and so said that. No. Who's that? I mean, we don't know the person. Apparently, they know the person from the weddings and whatnot. But that is for another day. So the main issue here is let us talk about it without giving it what it requires. Because what it requires is the spotlight. Let us deny that spotlight, but yet talk about it. That's why we decided to go this way. That's why we decided to wait and give it time to die down. As it dies, then we start talking about it, because we didn't do what is expected of us, which is talking about it, what is hot, so that you can sell some jazz or something.
No, it's a music. It's a song that she chose to promote at a very wrong time.
No, it's always been the case. Couldn't be an incident, and I mean a coincidence. It's always the case.
Oh God.
You remember the times when things were boiling up, and then Ikwela.
Released the song.
I can name them.
You even know the names.
I know the names because the coincidence is just.
Yeah, she infuses. She has a way of infusing this boring music of hers into the tragedies and the scandals and the things that are happening with Senzo's case. She just has a way of marketing.
So we don't want to give it
in
that.
the midst of controversy.
We don't want to give it that.
It's something that
we don't want to give that moment
she
time.
enjoys very much.
Not us.
And we don't like feeding that.
Don't feed that narrative. Don't feed that beast. Lindy Webem, thank you very much. We appreciate you. May God bless you. Yes,
Thank
Emily.
you, Lindy
It's
Web.
greetings to everyone. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm okay. The spirit of the holidays is kicking in. Yes, and everyone in the house is driving me insane.
Yes.
But I will be fine, guys. I'll be fine.
Yeah, we are trying by all means.
I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm just happy everyone is home. But hey,
it's tough from your side. Well, on my side, everything is just quiet for now. Maybe until I'm home, maybe. Right. Let us hear what transpired.
Yeah, guys. Yes, Mr. Anonymous is very much correct. Whenever Miss Popola trends or does something or decides to do something in the middle of controversy, we shy away from feeding the beast or feeding into whatever is trying to be done, and we always try to act like nothing is happening because she feeds off of this hate and this everyone that is giving her, and she likes it. She enjoys it very much. It's a sport for her.
It's our opinion, right?
It's my opinion. It's a sport. She likes it too much to a level where it makes me scared sometimes. Ukuthi hayibo kanti umuntu athanda negative kangaka, but it is what she chooses.
They say no. What do they say? These marketing people.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Bad publicity, yes. That's what they say.
Publicity is
every
publicity.
Publicity is
but
publicity.
Somehow her publicity, utata the negative one the most. There's no positive publicity. There's nothing positive that she uses to push her music, or maybe it doesn't work. The only thing that's working is using this case somehow. Maybe that
I don't want to dip to the music part because next thing we are called names, but I just don't like the timing. I'm gonna put it like that.
Every time
just don't like the timing.
There's a releasing of a song. There's controversy with Senzo's case.
It could be that you have a studio in your house. You just happen to, or perhaps you preempt what is going to happen in advance. Maybe what we don't know.
Pella, this is the person who told us that they had a dream a year prior to them testifying that they had a dream that there were not going to be no cameras.
And indeed, the dream came true. Hey, so these are people of spirit. Very spiritual. People who can foresee things before they happen, only with regards to this case, because they couldn't see the incident that happened in that house in advance. They could only see. Now they are able to see things in advance, and that we're gonna leave it at that. It's okay. I mean, people can be visited by their ancestors, and they are able to foresee things now in advance, and it's okay. Or they could maybe be more involved in terms of building up the case. Maybe they know what we do not know. Things like that, you know. I mean, people are privy to information that we are not. Maybe we don't know, or maybe this is just a spiritual thing. And it came to pass that even today we cannot see what is being done in that court.
Yes.
Not to say that even Dumi came and he played that part very well. In making sure that he put the last nail in that coffin to say that no more these people being publicized or being put in public. And what is surprising, though, however, is that now these witnesses are done. Now we are talking about the SAPS and everyone else, and everyone was also protected now, which is now one thing that is very surprising.
Yes.
Perhaps they're saying they did their part in doing that. They can write their name down. In this case, we made sure that no one sees the witnesses, can read the body of the witnesses. Maybe, I don't know. There are a lot of things that we could pick, maybe if we see the pictures and everything else, even the body language. But now we are sitting here, we are just sangomarizing. The only thing we can read is the judge and the person who is cross-examining.
Yes,
and
the
that's
state.
it. And that's in the state, yes. And that's it. So it's okay. But this incident happening the way they are happening, they are surprising.
And it is all thanks to that. We will never know what Brigadier Kininda looks like.
No.
We will never know, unfortunately.
No. No.
I will never know. We can only imagine, judging from the voice, what the person looks like. We have no idea.
Hey, we imagine. Well.
So yes, guys, it is what it is. But before we go further, I would have liked for us to play this clip of Advocate Mngomezulu's sister. She delivered a very strong message. I believe this message was to the judge. That's me. That's my speculation and my opinion. To the judge, as well as Ms. Zandi Khumalo and everyone else who has taken a stance to say whatever the judge, or they are siding with the judge, as well as Ms. Zandi Khumalo's controversial posts every time something controversial or awful happens to the defense. She always has something to say. So Advocate Mngomezulu's sister, during Advocate Mngomezulu's funeral, delivered a message that I think we should all listen to and, you know, think about. It was powerful for me. My experience watching the proceedings on Saturday, it was powerful for me, and I wish we can take something from it. So, Mr. Anonymous, let's take it away with the clip, and let's play the clip so that our family can see what we're talking about. It's a small clip. I think it's 4 minutes. I only took those 4 minutes because I realized that there's so much gems in what she is saying, and I get it. You know, I understand it.
All right, let's hear.
And then I was not happy when I saw certain people celebrating. And then I remembered amazwi kakhe ubabomkhulu kaButhulane, my dad. He said, he used to say icala liboli. And trust me, ungona ngoJanuary and behave the entire year. Lapha yokubamba khona ngoNovember, ngoDecember, ngoSeptember, and thola ukuthi into encane engaka. Mase bebuza ukuthi ukushayeleni babakho kanje. Omisi ba complainile bathi ngiba ngumsindi eklasini. Kanje? No, usekubalele wonke lamacala ngoba icala liboli, angithi. So remembering even a case ka OJ Simpson, he was acquitted for his ex-wife's death ex-wife and her boyfriend's death. Indeed, apparently by default. I don't know how I remember this information because I was very, very young. By default, he was acquitted because the glove could not fit. Okay, good for him. Even though inkomba eziningi, they were pointing at him, apparently. Remember, I heard this information from my brothers. Ongiphikisayo angihlangene nangothulani ulelela nguye phela engixoxela. So, he was acquitted indeed. However, later in the years, lapha se relaxe khona, waboshelwa into simple, armed robbery, and you're thinking this is a sportsman. Bekadakwe yini seselento eseyo, you know, armed robbery. So I'm going back to icala liyakulandela noma ungathi siyabonga Mngomezulu usehambile. If you are able to be acquitted on this, trust me, isiZulu sisho something about angazi the blanket ingene icala, something like that. Oh, livula icala lingene. Oh, icala livula ingene. Okay, it's fine. But you get what I'm saying, sorry. So in closing, Proverbs 24 verse 24 says, a judge who says to the wicked, you are innocent, will be cursed by many people and denounced by the nations.
I stand on behalf of our presiding judge in our matter. He passes his...
I don't know what I've done, but I've done it. So I'm going to have to go through it again. But this is just a part that I would have liked us to talk about.
Okay.
Before we go to
I included that clip of Ramasipili talking that the judge is sending his condolences and the crowd at the funeral was booing. So it was like, this is exactly what she meant. This is exactly what she's talking about when she says that a judge who says to the guilty, you are innocent.
Let me get that part.
And then I was not happy when I saw
have
certain people celebrating.
I'm trying to find it, and I will find it. Yes.
In our matter, he passes his condolences to the family. Baholo ake khalemeng.
Angazi, I don't think idinga nokutolikwa, because the wicked can do as they please. We have the wicked everywhere, in every field. I'm not saying ukuthi khona okwenzakalayo ningizwe kahle. I'm just making an example. And ngilandela Proverbs 24 verse 24. Should anybody rejoice ukuthi ya thina siyazi we are untouchable, one day God will touch. If a person goes on social media to say halala thina sithindwa, guess what? We serve a living God. uNkulunkulu okusalayo siyazi ukuthi akahambi yedwa akagcini yedwa la, kusasa ngimi sasa nguwe, indlela yonke yethu indlula la. So we cannot be rejoicing ukuthi khona ohambile, and we cannot be deterred by the wicked. We cannot be deterred by witches and wizards just because, oh my gosh, they're writing certain things. Because even the law itself cannot be deterred by the devil himself.
We don't know about that. The law itself. What if the law is made out of the devil. That's a question for another day. But I agree entirely with everything that was said prior to the law part. You know.
You and the law.
Yeah. I agree to a certain, in fact, almost 90% of what was said. I agree. It is true. It was fitting. You know, it was fitting to be said like that. And I mean, indeed, it might not be the small noise what we just heard here, which is just people who are not happy about something, but there are other things at play, because it goes on to say that at verse 25, but it will go well with those who convict the guilt, and rich blessings will come on them. That's what it says. That's what it says, and that's a New International Version that I think she was quoting from all this information.
It says, a judge who says to the wicked, you are innocent, will be cursed by many people and denounced by many nations. And you could tell from the clip that it has already begun, because at the funeral, while Ramasipili was busy there speaking about
what has already
the
begun.
Condolences, the
You have a way of putting
cursing
things.
by nations.
Which cursing? You know
Maybe
why?
I'm wrong.
You know why? No, you are not wrong. You know what you've just said now is insinuating something, and I'm trying to maybe at this point in time the case is not done. Let us say maybe something good might come or something bad might come, but it seems as if there is this belief that we are going towards the wrong direction. Maybe the boos and everything were just for that. That it seems as if people were not. There were a lot of things that they were not happy about. I mean, in one football game, you can make a mistake, but if we read the report of the whole game as a referee, if we read the report of the whole game, you mostly did well, because you finished the game at the right time, for example, and you did the right things when you were supposed to finish that game. I'm just saying that for now, it is not done. As much as we feel, I mean, I know you are usemzweni, or we are almost done, it's finished, because that's how we feel.
Almost done.
But we are just
the public are voicing out.
Yes, the mistakes that are happening during the game. Or during the course of the trial. Maybe we will say some of the things are fitting when it is done. But for now, let us put it like this and say, and maybe when it's appealed, because also it goes to that level of saying that I did my job well. If it's not appealed, then it remains that. It remains the ruling, and it is done. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We probably are jumping the booing. Maybe it's just for small. It happens. Even I'm making an example of football, because even during the game, it can happen that someone pushes someone, and we feel as supporters that, hey, that person should have been judged a foul there, but it's not. The referee is saying play on. I'm not seeing anything wrong. Let's continue, and then we start whistling and booing. But towards the match end, we say, no, the referee was fair after that, So giving a benefit of doubt, yes, we feel that we are going to the wrong direction. But what was said by my sister here, I agree with it if this case is done. And in fact, with regards to what was said on the social media, because that cannot be reversed now, it is done. Yes, that was said, and it seems as if people were celebrating. I don't know. However you look at it, if I sit here and I analyze it, I feel like that was a jab. That it feels like that was a jab. And as I'm saying, we are rooting that from many things that have been happening, and we are saying this is the case. So we feel that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Someone could have been writing a song at the right time, a song that seems to be saying, what does it say? The song.
Conto something. The fans of hers are saying that she had been working on that song for months now and for a very long time. That's what I saw in the comment section, but I don't know.
Where were they getting that?
They follow her. Maybe they saw her working on the song. I don't know. I don't follow her, but I was looking at the comments and most of her fans are like, you guys are unfair. She has been working on this song for such a long time. The weird thing about this whole thing, it was just about an hour after mainstream media confirmed Mngomezulu's passing. And here is this person making this funny post, with weird energy all around it. And I try to ignore it.
And one thing also that is building to that is that she has been voicing unpleasant comments towards the defense overall. When things like this happen, then that's when we start saying, but it can be a coincidence. Could be that you've been working. But all the time when you get it right,
all the time you prophet
what could happen
concerning the defense. First it was Defo, Advocate Defo. She
the
was
judge
attacking Advocate.
The judge that is retired.
On her open letter to the president.
Yeah. And that was after the incident of Maumela, ne?
And then the cameras, not wanting the cameras to be in that courtroom.
Defo.
A prediction happened a year prior. And then all of a sudden, coming for Advocate Mshololo. After praising her the previous year, now she was attacking Advocate Mshololo because Advocate Mshololo was asking her about her level of education. I even saw some people questioning. They were like, her IQ, Doni. I'm like, hey, I don't know, guys, but I, in my opinion, let me speak for myself. As much as people may conclude or may come to the assumption that her IQ is low, for me, I feel like there are certain things she knows and has been told that she can't keep to herself, in my opinion. I remember the utterances she made about Advocate Mshololo flying in the interview. And I couldn't help but wonder, but how come you know that she's flying? Who's updating you on what mode of transportation she's using?
Yeah, that was a punch for me. That was like, she was initially she talked about Mshololo. One could say in a good light. What prompted what prompted that situation of thinking that maybe Mshololo's
an ally or
Mshololo's accused Mshololo's what is this Mshololo, the guy, Mshololo's client is was perhaps gonna fold and say maybe we did it. It felt like that when he did that, and I feel like every time he does these things, there's this knowledge. So you can claim that someone has someone who can do that has low IQ. I don't believe that they could be such. I don't even feel that they could be such. I mean, this is in my opinion, if you look at it, in a sense, it is a distraction because we tend to want to talk about it. We tend to fly and forget about what is happening in court. It is a distraction. It is not far from when you are asked a question and you rather are not answering the question, you are going around. It is not far from that, because it is a distraction on its own. I mean, you have said that many times that you listen to certain witness, you feel like you need to take a break and sleep and wake up and sleep and wake up if you're not working. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that because you also have to focus on your work. So it just has that thing. It has an effect of taking the focus away from the case and then we focus on it, and then maybe also on the other side playing the pretend, or maybe potentially being a light to what he wants us to focus on, which is the song. Maybe I don't know if it's working in terms of what do we call this, the music platforms. I don't know if it's working. If people go on to understand what Ikwela would have been, I don't know if it works. But most people who follow this case, some of them can't even speak Zulu, so they need to go through other people's explanation of what this would mean. They rely on that. So, Angazi, I feel like if her sister was doing this, or if her sister could, as it happened at some point, it does fly. Because she's got a voice to back it up, in my opinion. Her music is one of those musics which I don't want to listen, but and then you hear it playing somewhere, you end up singing along,
She has that.
She has that. So with her though, I'm not saying she's a bad singer. I think she sings, but I cannot connect. With Kelly, remove everything that has happened in the past. Probably I would put Kelly's music in a full blast in my car. But at this point in time, when it comes to that, even if Spotify is playing, even if I'm playing using Spotify and it comes to that, I just stop, because I feel like I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted.
But
I cannot.
It doesn't take away from her talent.
Yes. It doesn't take away. Yes, it doesn't take away from her talent.
You are just feeling some type of way about what happened.
Guilty, or why would I? When I put energy in supporting something in terms of music or anything, I know I'm happy. Like, I'm happy to support singers, for example, that I see them building their homes and supporting people around them. I play that music on repeat. I don't mind. But to support someone who's self-centered, selfish in a sense, I'm not saying that she is like that, but it does feel, because we all feel like, as a nation, maybe she owes us a proper explanation,
Yeah.
Sit down and say, this is the case. Not make it about her. Not making about her music career and how big she was and all that. I feel like every time she sits, it's all about how big she was at the time. Senzo was not known, and which we disagree with.
We highly disagree.
This is someone who was playing for Bafana Bafana at the time, was flying. He was arguably the best goalkeeper at the time. Not even arguable. Most people who support soccer will tell you there is no argument, even from Kaizer Chiefs supporters, because even when Cunha was in charge, we all knew that Cunha was in charge. That's how it is. But when you come and say no one knew Senzo, from there we switch off. We are no longer listening. You've lost us. Which land were you living on? Why did you want her? We start asking that question. Why would you want him? I'm sorry. Why would you want him if he was not known? If it was nothing, go to that extent. Why would you even use what they say you used in terms of allegedly?
Yeah, it's a lot. But hopefully with the proceeding of the trial and how it's going, maybe she will get her day in court.
Yeah,
maybe she will.
But yes, the script, sister. Hey, thank you for that script. If indeed it happens, I'll keep it to my library, because Pella, we are talking serious stuff here. You would have told me good days, or what one might perceive as karma.
Yeah.
Depending on what you believe in.
Yeah. And also speaking to that point that the sister was talking about when it comes to how O.J. Simpson's trial went. And at the end of it all, he ended up getting arrested later on, many years in his old age. I think it was in his 50s at the time that he got arrested. He was now getting arrested for armed robbery. And he ended up going to the very same jail that he, in other people's opinion, feel he dodged.
But would you say, what was, I've never followed that part. I won't lie to you. I know the case. I've heard of it, but not that much.
It was very...
It was not, was it clear eventually that he did something?
No.
So it's still a mystery.
Yeah.
So yeah, that case is yes, that case is there, but it never became clear whether he did it or not.
The thing about it is that
this is O.J. Simpson,
he had
right?
a very strong defense counsel. He had powerful lawyers, and what made the judge and the jury acquit him is the fact that, number one, there's two elements that I heard this other legal analyst who went back in time and talked about how they studied the O.J. Simpson case. And they were saying that it's because of two elements. Number one, the glove did not fit, and they were saying that the person who committed the crime was wearing that particular glove. It was found next to the body or something like that.
So this case
So that glove did not fit O.J. Simpson.
This case is not different from what we are currently facing.
Yes.
Where there's a head.
Yes.
It's a head situation.
Then with this case, the head and what should happen with the head is not happening with the head. They are not...
It is not fitting also the head, because according to DNA, it excluded. But well, the judge then decided to call neutral.
It's a very different ball game, because in the US...
This is where we say the referee is making mistakes during the game, in my opinion. He's making mistakes during the game.
Whether the judge calls the shots. In America, there's a jury who determines whether you are guilty or not.
Whether it is on purpose that is making these mistakes or not, that will be determined later when he makes his judgment. Should he then go and refer to that inconclusive, then we would say it was on purpose. It was a strategical move to say it is inconclusive, even though the expert said exclude. Yes, we feel that it is going that way.
Yes.
That's a feeling.
Yes.
And it's just a feeling from us.
Yes, it's a hunch. It's a hunch from our observation of what we've been following in the court proceedings. So
what else was it?
What will ultimately happen? Well, it was that glove. They made him fit that glove before the arguments happened. And in the arguments at the final stage, when now they were arguing for him, his lawyers, they were saying that if the glove doesn't fit, then you must acquit. Because that glove, if it was the glove of the perpetrator, doesn't make sense how he would be able to commit that crime with a glove that didn't fit him, because he was struggling to put it on. There was even a demonstration in the court about how he was struggling. It didn't fit his hand. His hand was too big and the glove was too small. Number one. Number two, one of the people who was an eyewitness, and this person claimed to have seen a black man wearing a hat. But the hat was not like a balaclava covering his face. He said a woolen hat.
Yes.
So they are saying this eyewitness, they actually determined that this eyewitness knew O.J. Simpson prior to him having seen him at the crime scene. And provided that the case had so much racial tension in it, the person who was the eyewitness was a person of no color. And what ended up happening, it felt or seemed like it was a witch hunt, because at the end, the lawyer for O.J. Simpson was arguing that you are saying that this person saw them and they were not covering their face. And you knew Mr. O.J. Simpson prior to the incident, but you couldn't tell the police in your statement that this was O.J. Simpson wearing a hat.
So the worst thing that could have happened there is that the prosecutor, the assumed by saying,
A black man
yes,
in a hat.
it was enough for O.J. Simpson to go to jail.
Yes.
But the nitty-gritties that defines O.J. Simpson, they were not put in that picture.
Yes.
Same as the nitty-gritties that defined the person, one of the people that were intruders there, were not put. The issue of a gold tooth. There are many things that are not matching up. The threads now shifting around like a witch hunt. So in a sense, they can use that case.
So it's the default aspect that she's talking about when she's saying that O.J. Simpson won by default. It's because of those two very crucial things that could have determined his guilt or innocence. Ultimately, the jury couldn't make a decision based on a black man wearing a hat and a glove that didn't fit. So they ended up acquitting him.
There's similarities in what is currently happening.
That will show in the arguments at a later stage.
Yeah.
That's why in the argument and cross-examination stage, they must collect what they need. I know with us, we like the drama. We like the but the real arguments come at the closing and a stage where they compile everything and paint the picture of why their clients could not have done the crime.
So what I've learned about a law in South Africa is that there are questions that you should ask once and pass.
Yes.
Why I'm saying that is that we, in this case in particular, what I've seen is that a lot of corrections have been done before de novo, then de novo, then we came back, things have changed. And then on top of things changing, we had new statements popping in and out. New statements, things new. A gun that was said to be a gun with the wheel, it turned to be a gun purporting as a revolver with others. There is no consistency.
But here's the interesting thing about it. Here's the default part. The default part is in the witnesses from the house said that initially on the statement had talked about the revolver. Almost all of them. None of them talked about a pistol.
But that's what
they rewrote their statement.
Yes, that's where the problem is.
Nothing about pistols. They are just choosing to describe that they don't know guns. And the lead investigator is saying because they don't have firearm licenses, they don't know anything about guns. They're not specifically saying it was a pistol. Whereas in the initial statements, it was clear a revolver.
But then they are saying they did not write their statements. They defined it. Now it's a new...
The thing about it also comes in where they were written by different police officers. It's not just Steenkamp who was busy writing a revolver. There was a different police officer who took down, for instance...
That would be a good argument. That would be a good argument.
Kelly's statement.
What would these police, all of them...
have to gain
by imposing the revolver on these people? You know, what do they have to gain? You know, what would be the purpose of that? That means the court now has to take a decision as to why would 3 or 4 police writing different statements write a revolver. I see that Ginindi has tried by all means to crash Steenkamp's statement. But if you take that in consideration with others, even himself saying that it was purporting as a revolver, a gun purporting to be a revolver. He is actually now the 4th or the 5th police saying the very same thing. So by default, this gun that was defined there it could have been a revolver.
Yeah, this is where the lawyer and the lawyering is in the final argument. So cross-examination mainly is about collecting
the information that you need to argue your point. That is if someone is going to give you an ear and not disturb you. Because you must understand that when the state is, as soon as the state take a stance and starts giving their what do we say, conclusive remarks or something like that, their arguments, they will be given time. They won't be disturbed. There won't be clarity seeking questions most of the time. That is me preempting what is going to happen.
It's supposed
But
to
now,
be like that, but the judge we have.
no, it's not supposed to be like that. I mean, I have seen in most is it Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
There it's proper discussion. You have to convince someone. It's okay. I like that. But if you are going to interfere with someone's train of thoughts, then you might as well just do it to everyone to balance the equation.
Oh.
That's my submission. But you would find that Baloyi would be given
There's a
time,
moment,
and then
no
it will be a moment of silence until the end, or sort of if there is any disturbance, an agreement. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. And that is the problem. And then come Nis. Nis says something. No. We must go check the record.
Yes.
You see, that's where the problem is. The imbalances that we see in that court. And that is why we are worried if they're even going to be given any time to submit without any disturbance. Because have you noticed how they get disturbed and then how they are taken aback most of the time, and even their points, they sort of disappear. Because as much as you write them down, but you still have them in your head and you practice them. This is how I'm going to move. From here, I'm going to move here. And then if someone's going to be like, no. Where are you getting that?
Yes.
While you're doing that, let's go now check the record. Break. You are coming back. The momentum is gone. Everything is just gone.
Yes.
Then when you ask for adjournment, you are wasting court's time.
Yes.
And the judge has a right to say no. So that is where I have a problem.
So you were kind of hard on this point when I was speaking on the clip of Sibyl and stuff. But the interpretation of Proverbs 24 verse 24 here, it says that when leaders are corrupt, both God and people notice and are angered. Nations which make a habit of defending evil are typically despised by other countries. The literal application of this proverb is a judge who derails prosecution or punishment of a guilty person. So yeah, that was where I was coming from when I made my very opinion. But then Mr. Anonymous,
no, you can. I'm just saying.
It's too early.
I'm just saying. It sounded a bit sure. When someone comes and say,
I'm
point
speaking on the point of
public opinion. Yes.
That's where I come in. I don't come in.
Perhaps it is referencing to that this is my opinion.
Yes.
Because once you say that's what we are already saying, you are concluding that is the booing was mainly because a certain judge is evil. That's why I'm saying that is a bit hard. Because now we're going to have to defend that position as to where it comes from.
Okay.
Yes.
Noted. So let's talk about these posts, these very disturbing posts of Zandi that I have been avoiding to talk about for so long. The first one that she posted was immediately, I would say about hours after it had gone mainstream, that Mngomezulu has passed on. And Mr. Anonymous, if you can interpret for us, uthi bathinta thina bazofa baphele imkhonto. Uthi ithi lengoma bathinta thina bazofa baphele imkhonto yethu ingcolile. Sizinsizwa webafana. Ubosiphathisa okwezikhali zamatungwa. This is like literally on the same day that the news came out.
Where do I start, Emil? I'm not good at interpreting. This is by Betty Yinizaka in English. Or the hymns, or should I say that are sang by the warriors. Yes, this is. Let's say the warriors were singing these songs to say it's to instill fear in a sense, because of the history of what they had done before, which is maybe conquering other nations. So when they are telling you watinta tina, bathini ithini lengoma batinta tina bazofa baphele.
Yes.
Or they are touching us, they are all going to die and perish in a sense. Imkhonto yethu ingcolile in a sense that it has blood, not that it is dirty. It is dirty when you say ngcolile, it's being dirty because it is, one can say, decorated by blood of other people that they've conquered before.
What?
That's basically, I think, so that's basically what he's saying. But imkhonto yethu, our weapons are full of blood. We have conquered many people before. Ngcolile imkhonto yethu.
So what is that? Is it a celebration like how social media interpreted it? They interpreted it as a celebration.
It is something that can be sang before war, like New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is more like what New Zealand is doing. What is that haka thing?
Oh, haka war cry.
A war cry. It is a war cry. It is a war cry. So that means now we are already in a place of that war, because you cannot sing it without being there. You need to be there. Those people need to hear this history of you fighting and conquering.
Ooh.
That is how I can explain it.
So how would you interpret it? Give me your interpretation of what is she talking about.
Oh, well, obviously, it is not far from what people are saying, in a sense that it's the sign of celebration after winning. That they are
untouchable.
There is a song, I think it's a song by Inganzo Ma.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this is like sampled from that song, I think. It sounds like it's sampled from that song.
What did the song say?
Batinda tina eyethi mkhonto bazofa bonke eyethi mkhonto ingcolile. Yeah, something like that.
She's also plagiarizing.
It's hard to say it's plagiarizing. It's sampled. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's and remember, this is a war cry of Zulu Nation. I think it has been there, so no one can claim it and say it's mine. It's not something that is new. It was there.
But how can you post something like this after?
So those parties who calls Amantunga, those parties who calls Amantunga in the end would say, "Be careful." It's like a warning. Those parties who calls Amantunga, there is a history on that. Isaka noma isisho lesi, there's a history. There's a history behind that. But muntu makasho njalo, you must be careful.
Yo, who must be careful now?
I don't even think that she knows all these things. She's just singing. But yeah, there is.
Who must be careful?
Yeah, so that's basically what I can say. This was a warning. This was a celebration of the wars that we have conquered before together. That's basically what this is saying. But we don't know then this song, why would it have this timing when someone has passed away? Even the sister, I think, touched on it in a sense. I think there was that people celebrating on social media that was meant for such things. It is very sad if indeed this is a celebration.
It is.
It will be very sad.
It made me sad, especially when I saw the reports calling it a celebration. It made me very sad. Well, then she responded after the backlash and people were calling her names and people were like angry and, justified in their anger. And then she came back and said, yeah, sengikhona nithi kubuhlungu kuphi, meaning, yeah, I'm here. So what are you saying? You are saying, where is it? Where does it hurt?
Where does it hurt?
And then she's having laughing emojis bese ati anpapi kodwa avele nizwela, meaning you guys are forward and
You're sensitive.
Sensitive. Aguna clever ezoncengwa.
Now you see now from reading that in combination with the first part, now one can almost lean towards this was not a mistake, this was not something that is a coincidence, in a sense. I mean, you should be saying, guys, this was not meant for that. I started doing this song, so and so. But I mean, you are staying on your true lane of what you said. You are standing up for what you said. You remain truthful to that. Enye into uNkulunkulu akuyena owenu nodwa. So in a sense now is saying, this God that you are praying to is not yours only. So I also have my victories, right? That's what this is saying.
This God is not only your God.
Akaphuze emathaveni la kuphuza khona oyihlo nonyoko. So he doesn't drink. This God does not drink from the taverns where your fathers and mothers drink. Owethu sonke, it is our God, all of us, and akazokwenza eyakho intando ngezimpilo zethu. He is not going to do as you wish in our lives.
With our lives.
So
I don't know what God she's talking
now
about.
This explanation now is fueling the first statement.
Okay.
Now I can now lean towards that to say perhaps there was a bit of, it was not a coincidence in my opinion. So this is someone who meant what he said, and it meant to define the situation at hand at the time. So this was really one, as other people are calling it, as a celebration. Indeed, it might be described as that.
Hi, there you have it, Mzansi family. That is what the outrage was about. And then 2 weeks prior to all of this and Mngomezulu passing away, there was also another post that we wanted to talk about that she made.
Yes.
But we couldn't get to it because we were busy covering what was happening in court. And this post was one of the most weirdest posts I've seen from her. She put a message on an inbox. I don't know whether it's somebody who sent her the message or she sent it to herself. I don't know. But it said here, Zandi, tell me one thing. Are you prepared to apologize in future should it happen that your sister is involved in masterminding Senzo's death? As uhlezi umpigela, as you are always fighting for her, denying for her. And then it says, are you prepared to apologize to South Africans for defending a killer and also for lying under oath? This person has already concluded who the killer is. And also Zandi, that Zandi lied under oath. Well, her response said, I'm not going to apologize to South Africans for ish. I'm sure you can see it.
Yeah.
Hi. Yabona, guys, first of all, I never lied under oath. I gave my testimony to the best of my ability and recollection. Mina Zandile Lorraine Khumalo, I was never part of any planning or masterminding yokubulala uSenzo. If there was something
I
like
believe that.
If there was something like that.
I believe you were not in the process of masterminding. Yes, I 100% believe it. In fact, even the defense is currently saying that.
Yes. He said, my stance has always been clear. Mina uguting solabani, and when my suspicions are without any doubt proven to be wrong, I will sincerely apologize to her because my suspicions are not personal and don't come from a place of malice. But I just wanted to make sure that police leave no stones unturned. Here she's speaking about Senzo's wife, Mandisa Mkhize. that her stance has always been clear that she suspects her, and her suspicions are not personal and don't come from a place of malice. Well, you could have had me with how every time she references her on the interviews, to me, in my opinion, it feels personal, rather. Yeah, it feels very much personal, but she's saying that's not the case.
And rightly so, you would be right to actually believe such. I mean, there has been a feud between Mandisa and the family.
And she was there as well. They beat her up at some point, and there was even a case on it.
Yes. So it's not far-fetched.
And she said, should she be investigated and cleared publicly, not behind closed doors?
No, investigations were now, Lorraine, they don't clear. We only are hearing this from this court where you called for the judge and you wrote a letter to ask for the judge that's retired, that an investigation can actually be used to clear people, which is, I mean, the investigation's purpose is to find out what happened and arrest those who are suspects. The clearing part is the court part.
Yeah, I mean, an investigation can clear someone. And it's for her to say not behind closed doors. So she's insinuating that Mandisa was cleared behind closed doors. Is that what she's saying?
You must expand on that one. Who cleared him behind closed doors?
And how come you have access to this information?
Yeah, who cleared him behind closed doors? Yeah, that would be very interesting. You remember there was a feeling from this channel that this case was going to knock at Mandisa's door.
Yes.
It seems everything was written on this case. That this is going to knock at Mandisa's door. Even Mandisa was observed whether he was smiling when all this was happening and all that. It was going to Mandisa's door. And many people were like, but then there was a twist along the line. That's when now, in my opinion, we saw Bo Kelly being dropped as witnesses. Perhaps the baggage of one, if one might call it as not a collaboration. What Mngomezulu said is the court is in cahoots.
Oh, the court is colluding.
Is colluding, yes. If one might borrow that word, not to say that was the case, but it felt like maybe it became much more heavier later to actually take, but along the way, then I realized, no, man, I can't carry all this. I need to carry few so that my car can maybe last longer, something like that. That's how it felt like. And then at some point then we got news that now Kelly is no longer a part of the state witnesses. And that was something of recent.
Yes.
So there was that feeling long time ago. So when we are asking such questions as where are you getting all this information? It is based on that there was this feeling. And I'll tell you where I'm taking it from. If you remember, I don't know if it is a documentary or what, where they were in fact it was during Zandi's stand, where he was explaining how Mthokozisi, who at the time happened to be a friend of Mandisa, kept on looking at his phone.
Yes, it was Tumelo.
Tumelo's
testimony.
Yes.
He kept looking at his phone. Yes, he kept being on his phone.
But guess what? In contradicting of that, Mthokozisi said he was charging. Was it Ntozi said he was charging? Yes.
He came to court and testified. He said his
so
phone was on the charger.
That's why we felt at some point that this is to say he was checking for these Nkabis. Are they coming or are they closer now? In a sense, that's what. That's what
the perception
that throwing off. Yes, that throwing off that he was busy checking the phone and all that, or he was in communication with Mandis, and it was very easy actually to link Mandis to the scene. Very easy through Mthogo.
Yes,
and
that he was
one would have,
updating.
if Mthogo was a friend of Mandis, one would have predicted Mandisa calling Mtogo around that time when he could not see them in the party. He was in a party, right?
Yes.
Yes. He could
She
have
was in
maybe
the party,
she could have called Mtogo around that time. So it was easier actually to go to the door of Mandisa through Mtogo because he was in the house.
Yes. Maybe he was updating her and then Kabi.
Yes.
Yeah,
But what happened, in my opinion, is that the link between Mandisa now to the Nkabis was the problem. It couldn't
link
it couldn't
up.
be cooked or something like that.
And she's persisting. The way she's persisting, and we're hearing in the courts that this
It's like you were told that, hey, these people, actually, this is what happened. Emila, you done reading the statement?
I will continue with it on my device here.
Yes.
But it's fine.
It's like you were told that this case is going this direction. So when there was a twist of it not going to that direction, you felt that it was behind the corners and the corridors and whatnot. Yeah. That's how you felt in the corridors, because you felt that this is what I was told, and then all of a sudden it's not happening that way. That's my opinion. Also, I'm saying this is what I'm thinking. That's why you feel like he was cleared behind the closed doors. She was cleared behind the closed doors. That's what I think.
No, I hear you, and it makes sense. You can only be bold to say stuff like this or publicly accuse somebody. If you must have
been told certain things.
Yes, and she has this persistency of wanting Mandisa to be investigated, as if maybe some conversations have been saying this is an open investigation. It's still ongoing, so we're not done yet. At some point, some future, in the end, it seems like there's a promise that it will end up at Mandisa's door. I don't know. That's my opinion. And she continued to say that with regards to Mandisa being cleared behind closed doors, I will then apologize to her, and that is the only person I'm prepared to apologize to. But until then, ngimilela. So it means she will not be apologizing to anyone else that she has offended throughout the going on of this trial.
There is authority in what she's saying. There's conviction. There's a belief that this is the case.
Yes.
And there is this feeling that there are messages that are being sent, such as this one. In my opinion, it's like a message that is being sent. Hey, own up to your end of the deal. You know, that one can actually, I feel like that. That's my feeling. I feel like it's like, hey, own up to the end of your deal. You know, I'm not moving. I'm not shaken.
She said, another stance I have always been very firm on, and I'm still firm on, even today, is the fact that I don't believe that Kelly Khumalo had something to do with this. In fact, I'm 200% sure that she had nothing to do with this. Binake, I don't kiss ASS and Angsabi Muntu. Mau beta nje, we are beta nje, finish. She's saying she's not afraid of anybody, and if you are wrong, finish.
You see, that's what I'm trying to say. There are signals that are, in my opinion, are being sent. And I also have my theory when Zandi. My theory is believing the theory that has been put in that court by the defense, in a sense that the shooter was within the house. And why I'm saying that? In that theory, in fact, there is an assertion that was put by the certain statements from, I think, from Tlhophe, that says you were fighting with your boyfriend. And then in defense of that, Senzo stood and tried to defend you. And then there was a shooting. And why I'm saying this now is because of how invested you are in this case. Your sister, in fact, is taking a backseat. Yes. You are pulling the strings. in a sense of writing the letter to, like you are more involved in a sense of pointing to people and all that. It's like your sister said, this is your mess, clean it up.
Didn't Brigadier Kininda just testify in that court that he had been having regular meetings with Zandi?
He did.
The only person in the house who's had regular meetings with the lead investigator, according to the lead investigator.
So even that fight where I've done a lot of things for you, said by you, it was a bit of a confusion, in my opinion, because I we have opinion. We all can have opinion. You are saying your opinion about Senzo's ex-fiance. So our opinion, my opinion is that I feel like you are more involved. You know, you are more involved. You are like someone really, if there was a shooter from the house, has something to do with that. Like someone who needs to clean up because you were not Kitamans. That's how it feels like. You know, your sister is just relaxed doing her things. It's like your sister is in that mood. Come to my place and touch me. That's when you see your sister is on that mode. That's why I feel like maybe even the reason why your sister was dropped is because there was a bit of resistance. That's my feeling. I mean we can all have theories. Your theory is there was a bit of resistance into maybe working out things so that he can go and testify, working with the police. You know, there was a bit of resistance. That's how I feel. Because maybe there was a lawyer that advised him, hey, otherwise, no, don't play along. That maybe, you know, one can say that since we all have theories. So it feels like that. It feels like there is a bit of something that when clean up, you know, mina, your things must not touch me. Should they come to me, all of you who are busy, I'll break all of you. That's why I said Zandi is a wild card. I mean Kelly is a very wild card. You must trade with Kelly very careful. So then maybe she was dropped because of that. It's like, okay.
And every time they bring up her sister's name, she goes ballistic.
She defends.
She goes crazy.
When her name is brought, her sister does not defend.
No.
That's what I've noticed. Her sister is not in a defense mood. For like, hey, no. It's chilled. The sister is like, I'm going to do my things, raise my kids, do your job. That's how it sounds like.
Pays me.
Hey.
Go to my gigs and perform, make money for my kids. Life goes on.
So how about that?
Every time they bring up Kelly's name in that court, oh my God.
How about that? Since we have theories, I mean, we all have theories. Now I didn't have a theory. Now I'm looking at it and I'm looking at how you are fighting down there.
And we are refreshed, right? We can mix this, what she's saying, with what's been happening in court. Our minds are more relaxed now. We're like, okay, this though, hey, this man, this sounds too deep for my understanding. You know, when I relook at these posts, when she immediately posts, yes, I'm angry and emotional. But then after you sit on them for a while, you're like, Aibo, can't do teeny.
So it's a different, you know, the feeling is that I felt like that initially also, that they must not call Kale. But there is one thing that that could assist them. If Kelly debunks the calls, that's one thing also that is removed, which she definitely, there is no other way around that.
Yeah.
If Kelly's call is going to debunk the calls,
she's going to say, I never called these people.
But if you don't call Kelly, you on your side, from as far as Ntuli is concerned, has debunked this cause, but the other part has not. So that would mean
There's a loophole.
There's a
there.
loophole. So to close that loophole of the calls, more especially the calls.
And the person who had subpoenaed or asked for Kelly to be subpoenaed is Advocate Mngomezulu. And now he's gone. So the defense that's left.
So they should, in a sense, because of that, because the judge will say, well, Kelly's still going to be investigated. So it's an ongoing thing, but these ones are arrested. So basically, this case, if you haven't noticed, yes, Kelly can be arrested. Now that I think about it, this is how they are going about this case. I heard from the analyst, and I was thinking, they are saying there was no case.
Yes.
As the lady from MPA was said to have said such things. Sometimes we go to court not having anything. Fake it until you make it. That's the allegation that was put by the journalist. Yes. So this, I'm sure you don't know that story, or some of you know it. But that's basically what happened in this case. There was nothing. And then 2 people were arrested, and then there was something. So if accused number 5 goes down, then Kelly would follow. Do you understand?
Yes.
By virtue of this one being guilty, you are therefore guilty. That means you would have called the person.
Yes.
So that is the feeling that she's not safe. She might be acting all brave in a sense of, hey, but she's not off the hook.
No, she's not.
No one knows what the devil is capable of.
And what they are
It is eating now on the accused. It might eat on Kelly later. And so Kelly must come and debunk the cause. And there is no other way around it. She's going to debunk.
She has to. She has no choice.
She's going to debunk.
She doesn't have a choice.
No matter how smart you are, there is no other way around this. She is going to debunk.
I never called those people. I don't even know.
Because simple question, did you have WhatsApp on 2014? No. Did you have BBM in 2014? No. There is an assertion in this court that you were called by this accused. Do you know this accused? No.
Did you make an internet call?
To this accused?
To this accused?
No.
No. What else?
Is this your number?
To accuse number 3. What was that call again?
It's basically calls. It's basically calls. So Kelly must be called to debunk those numbers.
They have no choice but to call her.
That's why they say wild card.
But what I can get over is what is the
So the
catch?
states realize that if we call her, she might corroborate the rest of the story, but the numbers, which are very important,
she might not.
She might not.
They'll also ask her, did you have 12 other numbers besides these 2 numbers?
Mm.
And then she'll have to confirm or deny. Do these numbers belong to you? They read them all one by one. Do you recognize any of these numbers? Are these numbers yours? Have you used them before?
So there is a lot in this case, Emily. Just finish up that part.
Okay, she wrote a lot. It's a huge paragraph, but I'm going to try and speed it up. So after angsabi muntu mawubheda nje uyabheda nje finish. Anginandaba ukuthi ubani. I don't care who you are, noma uyini kimi, or who you are in relation to me. She is highly incapable of such. But here I'm personal because I'm talking about someone I know personally and have emotional attachments to. She means Kelly Khumalo, her sister. Amaphoyisa will bring proof, substantiative proof. Proof ephegiwe. She's saying the police are going to.
You see that part of proof
not
ephegiwe?
Proof that has been cooked.
So you are saying this one has been cooked? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not calling him, not calling her.
Zulu ati the cooking of the poikikos. Is she confirming or denying?
That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. She's saying those numbers therefore are cooked. In a sense, that's what I feel like she's saying.
And I'm still saying, and I want you to quote me verbatim. Anyone, and I mean anyone, that was involved in masterminding Senzo's death, if ever there was any masterminding, I want them behind bars. I'm talking about the mastermind only because I'm 200% sure that those that are in the dock are the actual killers.
You see, you want the meat, you don't want the meat. You know, that's where Zandi's at.
What do you want?
She wants the meat, she doesn't want the meat.
It's almost like you're delulu about the fact that if these 5 accused go down, your sister is always also going down. What do you want? It's either they did it or they didn't do it. And if they did it, your sister is the mastermind. Pick your struggle. Which one is it? And then she's saying, so whether it's someone unknown to me or my family member, or even Senzo's family member, if nje it is proven beyond any reasonable doubt that they are involved in planning Senzo's killing, proof iphekiwe. The proof has been cooked. Akaboshwe lapho. Ke angihleli futhi. They must be arrested. I'm not going back. I'm not taking anything back. And angihleki phela, we want justice la aslali. And I'm not joking. We want justice. We're not playing.
That's it.
That's it. This was a very cryptic, long message.
I hear Caesar's feeling is that Kelly will come and say that Nkabis were calling her because they wanted to kill her, and you see that is the problem.
That is the problem.
That is a huge problem because she was never shot. As she was fighting, she was never shot.
So she's going to try and say allegedly that she was the target, like how Zandi has been saying all over these media platforms that the target was her sister.
No, I doubt. That theory did not fly, because that's a theory that gave birth to the mastermind. You know, in my opinion, that's a theory that gave birth to the mastermind.
The mastermind for it to be Mandisa, but now linking Mandisa with these accused,
it was hard. It was very hard. It became a mountain to climb. In fact, at the time, remember, Gininda was not there. So a lot of things were just open. You know, there was really something happening there, but no one knows what was it. So it became even more harder because after that, it was past 5 years. Was it past 3 years, 5 years, 2018?
3 years. It was past the 3 years that they were supposed to now pull data from cell phones.
Yes.
And because Mandisa was never at the crime scene, how could they have wanted her cell phone for what?
It was going to be far-fetched.
Yeah, but, and it provided this cleaning. I mean, the initial investigation team was thrown off by that cleaning, in my opinion. How do you say someone who's outside of these people did this, and yet the crime scene has been cleaned? Are we getting a call?
I'm not sure.
The phone. Okay, so yes, it's gonna be tricky to say that she's responsible while someone cleaned up for her.
Yes. It's gonna be hard.
That is tricky.
So I think that theory is not gonna fly. You know, if that theory was ever gonna fly, what was supposed to happen? There was supposed to be a shooting towards the door where Kelly entered. You know, there were a lot of things that were supposed to happen.
And if she was in fact the target, that door would have been broken down.
Exactly.
And she would have had something happen to her.
Yes, that's where the problem started. So
because the protector was gone. Senzo had already been shot.
Yes.
So what was stopping them from going through and doing with what she claims to be the target?
That's where the problem started. So our services, I don't think you should be afraid of her. Just bring her on board. I'm telling you, she's never gonna say, because once she says, even if she admits to that, she does not know what the other party is holding at the back of their hand, which is the state. The state is saying, no, we are not done with her. Right?
Yes.
So no one knows. They must call her. In fact, even if she says there was a call, she must tell us what did they use to call. You know, there are a lot of things at play here. And
in the testimony of Lorraine, she said that the threat started happening after the incident. They were getting calls. She said after the incident, they were getting calls threatening Kate. And we also have to remember that a SIM swap was done on Senzo's phone. So one would ask, where were those threats coming from? Which phone were they coming from? Your sister's phone or Senzo's phone, since she had done a SIM swap on the deceased phone.
Remember, those calls are saying there was a call. They're not saying there was a call CF. So there are a lot of things at play with this. You can say they were just anonymous calls that I never answered or what, but they are saying you talked. That's what they are saying.
And let us not forget that it's through mega metadata. They are reading the megabytes that we used. There's no clear confirmation of how this internet call took
There
place.
could have never been any data used if you were just called and you didn't answer. It was not going to be that much.
Yeah.
So, agaze. One thing for sure, she might try to maybe say certain things, but I'm sure about the cell phone numbers, she's not going to admit them. In my opinion.
And should she admit these calls,
she's
going to jail. Because what would be stopping the accused from saying she was the mastermind? Already there are confessions that are stating and pointing at her as the mastermind, not Mandisa.
But once they say they are going down, then the accused are going to say, yeah.
Vele Kelly.
Yeah.
What have they got to lose?
Either way, they are going down. Nama would never leave you to tell the story. Oh, never.
So I don't think there's much thought processes happening, and even if there are, she's getting updates from somewhere. Even this could have been a message to some of the people inside the camp, who knows, to say, leave my sister out of this, find a way, be creative.
All is alleged, guys.
I mean, it was so random, you guys. This thing was so random. I'm like, hey, man, what is she talking about? It was so random. But yeah, the post is still there for those who are interested. It's still there. She hasn't removed it. So,
yeah.
And she hardly removes any of these things. So.
Let's press that like button, guys. Please, let's just play with it a bit. And yes, the adverts are there and everything else is there. Do we have calls?
I don't know, guys. If we don't have calls, then we might as well call it a wrap.
That would mean we did a clean job.
Yeah.
All is alleged.
Everything is alleged.
All is just views and theories and
speculations. Yes. We're not saying it's a matter of fact, which is speculating. It is our views and our opinions, because we've been given something to talk about.
Yes.
Might as well talk about it.
Since everyone is speculating, that's what Zandi said. Tim Kulu, thank you. Tembelan Kanye, our member, thank you. Chuku Anna, thank you. Sibanda Skatele, thank you. Skatele, thank you. Kwelagiti, thank you. Mtozisi Langa, thank you. Stembele Mkonazi, thank you. Miss Mbali, thank you. Mlambo Designs, thank you. Shlau, our member, thank you. Zozo Mashango, thank you. Chadi Molwatwa, Thank you, Nchadi Mulwata. Thank you. I don't know if I butchered you somewhere. Gloria, thank you. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mitano.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, Secretary. Good morning.
It's the morning, yes.
I'm good. Mr. Arno, just remind me again. The brigadier said how many numbers, additional numbers did Kelly add? The one that she did not disclose to the
8
investigating
more.
team. He said how many? Didn't he say 6?
8. He said 8.
Or 4?
8 more.
6 more.
8.
8.
In your mind, how do you operate such numbers at one point in time? In your mind, does that even make sense? I have got 2 phone numbers, and I know we are not the same. People are different, but 8 or 6 numbers, same point in time, it's not possible. I will completely rule it out that it's not possible practically.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Yes.
Yeah, so and they will come up with an excuse that when we got these numbers, we could not go and get the data from Section 205. That will be the excuse that the investigation team does.
Yes.
But if you cannot get the data, then why are you arresting these other guys based on data that you can't get? Because the phone call that they say it happened, to me, it does not exist. It never happened. I think it does not exist. Just forget about it. Same thing as the glove, man. This glove does not fit.
Yes.
This glove, it doesn't fit.
This hat,
Doesn't fit.
this
You
hat in our
must
case
acquit.
does not fit.
You
Yes.
must acquit.
Yeah. So and Mapupola, for me it's very difficult to follow that lady, man. I mean, if you're a musician and in South Africa and I don't even know any of your songs, you must just know that you are playing. You are not a singer as that. So you can try to be popular by the case and write all those paragraphs, but I don't know. I just wish one day she would realize that sometimes it's better to keep quiet.
Yes.
Just shut your mouth.
Yes.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Yes, Sibanda Skatele, I've mentioned you. Aichi Macheka, thank you. Sekhamezi, thank you. Bushali, thank you. Lindy Wepembe, thank you. Boledi D, thank you. Let's see. The Brian Stolle, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Ntabeleng Muhlala, thank you. Ndumiso Masengemi, thank you. Elakanyani, Samuel, thank you. At Leti Mshengu, thank you very much. Let's see. Someone is calling. Why am I not seeing anything though? Okay. Keep on trying, guys. Mzansi Tabo, thank you. Blessing Mabena, or member, thank you. Mlilo, thank you. Sizwe 18, thank you. Towards this lang I've mentioned to you. Thank you very much, our moderator. Yes. Mzansi, hello.
Hey, Dr. Family, how you guys doing?
We're doing great, sir. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for taking my call. Hi, Miss Emily.
Hi. How are you?
I think I'm good, ma'am, and you?
I'm good.
Yes, ma'am. I think Miss Zandi needs to keep talking. We need her to keep talking. Eventually, she's gonna sleep up. So she needs to keep talking.
That's she's getting hotter.
She's gonna sleep up.
She's getting warmer.
Yeah. Clearly, she cannot shut up. Something is burning.
Yes.
So we need her to keep talking. Yeah. You know what? Few more points, Mr. Anonymous. I think the hardest thing on earth is for somebody to ask you to translate a Zulu song into English. Because I don't know how you can translate the rhythm, but maybe you can translate the words, but they just don't make no sense. There's a quick song that says, it was sung by some guys in jail. It says, now, if you want to translate that into English, it sounds terrible. How can somebody sing about something like that? But once you listen to the rhythm, it's completely different. It's like such a nice song.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so hard. One point I wanted to make was about the law in South Africa, that it's so interesting and it feels like it's designed to oppress people. I can say maybe offenders, or I can just say black people. Because if you look at it, the prosecutors can attack the integrity of the accused. In this case, they say Kelly Khumalo has 8 numbers, but they cannot approve it. They cannot bring none of those numbers. They cannot present them into court. But to put that doubt into the judge's mind, to think she might be involved, she's got 8 numbers, but they cannot prove it. You know, they go to Zandi and say, oh, he's got so many other cases that he needs to go to court to. So the judge already knows that, okay, this guy is not good. But Mshololo cannot come in and say, but you lost the case for beating up people within a trial. Oh, no, you are taking him. So that there also is just put in there just to make sure it oppress the offenders or the accused. And I feel that's intentional.
Yeah.
And one thing that also baffles me is the fact that none of these interviews and these statements are being recorded, at least by like sound or by video like they do here in the States. So basically, we are told, like, Pineda right now is so adamant about this confession. Oh, but they confess. Really? Do we even know that they wrote those statements? We cannot prove it. We're just taking it at him out of his way. And if all these interviews, Zandi's interview, all these interviews were on video or being recorded, we'll be in a much, much better place than we are today. And I feel that's done intentionally. I feel that's done intentionally because imagine if we can all see and listen to Ntanzi confessing and see the police writing what Ntanzi is saying, instead of the police saying this is what Ntanzi said, but we cannot prove it. Even the judges, they are convicting these people every day. Even you look at the AKA case, they got arrested on a different case. Oh, by the way, no, we are arresting them for AKA. Those 2 guys in Durban who just spent 20 years in prison, they had a pointing out where there was no video, no recording, just the pictures. It's the same pattern, but there's no video, there's no audio.
Yes.
And I feel that's where we're also missing out on this justice system at home. It's just made to convince us.
No, I hear you.
Thank you guys for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We thank you. So in a sense, you are saying this case is built on circumstantial evidence and the doubt that are created through by making people look like certain characters and creating this exaggeration around it, which is part of circumstantial evidence that we are pushing. It sort of makes it easier for the judge on the basis of that to say, yeah, these people are guilty. Why would you have 11 numbers, for example? Why would you have many cases like this? Already these other ones are arrested. So this case was dependent on that.
And that perception would
it's based on that perception, yes.
Would overshadow everything else that needed to be looked at. The fact that these people have a bad reputation or these aspersions that are cast on them, they portray them to be such people.
Yes.
So it was going to be hard for anybody to have any
form of belief towards these people. Anything that is said about them should be then true. Yes, Laura, thank you very much. We appreciate you for what you are doing. May God bless you. May God increase you. I was with the people calling, with the people
on the chat.
Didi Talks. I saw you. I'm just remembering you from my head. Yeah, Didi Talks, and there was Zozo Mahlangu. Shao was also here. I think I mentioned Gloria and Sekhameti and Bushali. Then going down to Lady Ndumiso, I mentioned you. Zanzi Tabo, yes, I mentioned you. Mlilo, I mentioned you. Mtozisi, I mentioned you. Stelo Moloi, I think I mentioned you. Sbongile Charity Mbonambi. Yeah, Lucia Maf, yeah. Noma Pasika, Lydia, Ngenge. Thank you very much, our member. And then let me see, going down, Zodo Lamini, our member. Shazi, thank you very much. Lindiwe, thank you. Manchester John, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Nosipiwo Boy, thank you. We appreciate you. MS King, thank you. We appreciate you. Ntlantan Lovu, we appreciate you. Hlanjiwe Banda, we appreciate you. Jackson Bambiso, thank you very much. Roman Ramona, thank you. Sorry about that. Goodwin Kautumba, yes, Kautumba. Thank you. Zakele Gumede, thank you. Sizu, I've mentioned you. Zo, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Snentlanta Pengo, our moderator, thank you. We appreciate you. Lufate, our moderator, our member, thank you. We appreciate you very much, Lufate. It's been a while since I've seen you. Our member, MT Darwin, all the way from Zim. Yes. That's a flag I see here. I think is it Zim or Kenya? I could be wrong. It's small. I cannot see much, but I think it's I don't know if I'm correct or what, but MT Darwin, you will tell me this is the flag.
Yeah,
it's Zim, yes. And then Chuku, and I've called you. Ndazi, thank you very much. Leia, Njomane 83, more dollars, thank you. Zakela, I've mentioned you. Ta B, our member, thank you. Sizwe, you are coming many times. Okay, Pumlan Butelezi, thank you. Fananum Tozis, Mzansi, hello.
That's a reality.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, siyaphila njani Mr. Ano?
Siyaphila nathi mfethu.
Siphila inkaba yenkosi le. Sis Emily siyabingelela.
Yebo, siyabingelela nathi.
Yebo inkaba yenkosi.
You know what I wanted to say is not it's just to add a little bit.
Yes.
You know, guys, I just want to say to you, you know, what you are doing is not despised by other people in the law fraternity. There are people who are in support of you. Okay, this started like this. There is a family friend of ours who was a magistrate in Randbeck. That is Joburg line.
Yes.
So I usually try to find, you know, because I've not done law. I don't know much about law except what I'm complaining about, what I see happening, you know. So some of the things, like I was asking about certain things which I was in disagreement with that are happening in court. And then she said to me, hey guys, you know what? We see this and we are also don't understand why is it done like this. And then what I did, I just then gave passed your channel to her in a certain point. And then she asked me this question, hey, do you know these guys? Are these guys student of law or something? Asking about you and Emily. Are they student of law or are they what? I said, no, I don't know what they are doing, but they are not students of law. I said, wow, they are so articulate. So Funuguti, you should know that not everybody is looking at what you are doing as, a conspiracy theory. So ngiyavalelisa kulapho.
Siyabonga. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. This means so much to me, guys. I highly appreciate it.
Oh yeah, siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga. See
we're not in the red race.
We live by faith. Thank you.
We are living by faith.
Oh, that is one of our members, by the way. We live by faith. John, thank you. John Mokhalane. Yes, John Mukharane. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if your name. Fundiswa Hela. Thank you. Yeah, I think guys. May Tumhlanga, thank you very much. Always sober, May to and putting his points or her, is it her points or his point? I'm not sure.
Anons at the screen here. I don't know whether I'm seeing things.
Where?
Let's check the screen.
The screen is dark.
But I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. It's fine now.
Okay,
guys.
Right.
Okay.
And Ramona, thank you very much. May God bless you. We appreciate you. May God increase you. Yes, he said Darwin is saying from Zim and UK. Oh yes, Darwin. Thank you. Yes. Our neighbor. Sisonke. Siyabonga. Cool. Guys, thank you very much for everyone. May God bless you. In whatever part that you played here, may God bless you, all of you. Siyabonga kakhulu bafethu. Asilutho ngaphandle wenu. Silapha nje because of you. We wouldn't be here, I think, if it wasn't for you. Yeah, thank you.
We would be very discouraged.
Yes.
But now, because we know you guys are here, and we are still keeping the court of public opinion alive.
Thank you guys. Let's press that like button on our way out. Let's not forget, let's push for that 300. I know we are 300, but we are close to 300. It's 289. Let's just press that like button and reach that point of 300, and we'd have broken the record. Thank you everyone. It's a bye from us.
Bye guys.